Hi everyone, this is Matthew Engel, the Intuitive Life Transformation Specialist. Having done psychic and intuitive work for nearly 25 years, I am very aware that I work in a profession that is one of the most commonly misunderstood and mystified. Today I'd like to dispel some of the myths and also educate people about some of the facts and realities about intuition and psychic abilities. The first point that I want to address is that everyone has intuition. It's an innate sixth sense. It's the way that we are connected to the spiritual realm, to higher guidance, and it's one of the tools that we've used throughout human history in order to survive wars and famines and poverty and bad weather, and that we've been guided to safety and that we've been able to evolve as a society. Being psychic just means that we have an ability or that we've developed the ability to use our intuition in a more refined way. Another myth that often comes up regarding psychic abilities is that it's somehow scary, or that it's only something that certain people can do, or that you might call in bad energy. The truth is that when you're consciously setting an intention to call in energy of the highest consciousness and the highest vibration, the purest source, that experience should always be comforting, soothing, grounding, and safe. You just want to be sure that you are surrounding and protecting yourself in the brightest light, and that you are setting a clear intention to call in energy that is of that type of vibration. A lot of people think that if you're psychic, that means that you can predict anything and everything. The truth of the matter is that there are certain things we're not meant to know ahead of time. If we did, we wouldn't find ourselves in circumstances that lead to growing and expanding and exploring and deepening our own consciousness. The other thing is that people often think that psychics should be able to be aware of everything that's going on in the world, or why don't they win the lottery, or why can't they predict any given possible event. Again, there's a lot of energy happening in the world that swirls through the universe. And if you think about it, no one person could possibly be tuned in to every single event, every single circumstance, every single person at every given single moment. We would get completely energetically overwhelmed. So those of us who are using our skills in a more refined or professional way should be able to turn it on and off. In other words, we can't be on the clock all the time. And again, life is filled with twists and turns, so sometimes we can use our intuition as a guidepost to be able to navigate our way through some of the innate challenges that happen in our lives. Again, as I mentioned, everybody is intuitive. Certainly, like any other skill, some people are more naturally or innately intuitive than others, but the skill can be developed. I know this because I've taught psychic development and channeling classes for about 12 years now. I've taught these classes at least 75 times to literally hundreds of students, and I don't think I've ever had a student who couldn't make some progress in the class, and most people actually progress rather quickly. A lot of people also think that if they're using their psychic abilities correctly, then they must be able to see pictures and images. The truth is that only some people are clairvoyant. In other words, some people see pictures and images, but a lot of people aren't, so if you're not visual, don't stress over that too much. Equally as important and powerful ways of using intuitive and psychic abilities include clairaudience, which means that you can hear messages, claircognizance, which means that you can grasp an understanding of what's going on. Clairsentience is more of an empathic experience with the situation or the person. And of course, the other way to tap into something psychically is kinesthetically, or in the body. And with that particular form, you can actually use the chakras or the astral body as a guidance system to give you some information about the nature of the experience or the situation that you're tapping into. For example, if it's in your solar plexus, does that have to do with power, control, or boundaries? If it's in the heart, is that an authenticity issue? The throat center being a communication or listening type of an issue, and so on and so forth. These abilities can be developed, And I generally find that most people have one or maybe two predominant ways of experiencing things psychically. So don't stress over trying to make your psychic abilities work in a certain way. I'd rather see you work with whatever natural tools come more easily to you and start with that. Allow yourself to develop it that way. And oftentimes, as people do, they can develop some of the other forms a little bit later on. So, some other tips for developing your psychic abilities, definitely you want to try to quiet your mind and don't try to use your intuition when you're distracted or when your mind is focused in a number of different areas. Try not to overanalyze that which you receive. Give yourself permission to really try it on a feeling level. Just allow it to speak to you rather than trying to force a message or to force an understanding. Work with whichever modality comes most naturally. And it's also important to be able to tune in a quiet, protected, safe space rather than when you're walking down a crowded city street or if you're in a crowded, noisy restaurant or on a subway or when there's just a lot of activity around. So give yourself the permission to create quiet, comfortable, peaceful, and sacred space. Quiet your mind, do a little meditation first, set the intention that you want to receive the highest form of guidance, only of the purest light, and that should help you on your way. For more information about psychic development and channeling classes, in person, by phone, and for one-on-one mentoring, as well as individual sessions, and my radio show, Intuitive Transformation Radio, please visit MatthewEngel.com. If you sign up for my newsletter, I'll also send you a coupon for 20% off your first psychic reading with me. In the meantime, until next time, fill your day with love and light.